Another episode is here. Yeah, welcome guys to Gossip Club.
Today it's not Gearhaus.
It's Gossip Club.
It's Gossip
Yes.
Club.
Yeah, Gossip Club. Wookie dog.
2,000 years later.
How many cabbages can we feed? We are the farmer.
Why did you get such a cabbage that looks like a pancake?
Oh my goodness. Hey, brother. Hey, you man,
That cabbage yako inakaa chapati baba. Doesn't look like a cabbage. Look at that cabbage. Ni kama imechopiwa off kibe.
Liko imeingia ya Swift. Swift that's
true. That's
iko flat kama 300 series hapa nyuma.
up and there. Lakini hiyo ni Swift. Hiyo ni kazi ya Swift.
Eh? Kofini yake iko na curves za AMG.
Hizi unaona iko na curves. Iko na hips za OnlyFans.
Welcome guys to another episode of Gearhaus. Yes. Today is going to be awesome. We have a guest. Kama mnamjua mshinda akijiintroduce. Huyu anajulikana tu. The man, the myth, the legend. The big OnlyFans star. Anapenda
the links.
Anapenda ma hits, I think.
I'll send links baadaye.
It's OnlyFans. Yeah, OnlyFans. Yeah, you'll be sharing his channel very soon.
Kwa link tree. Liko kwa link tree.
Uongeze kwa link.
Kwa link.
OnlyFans. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm Vanilla. And I am Kalasinga, as usual, your co-host.
I am Al.
Yes.
The guest.
What did you am a learning guest? He'll be a regular, but this guy will be a regular on the podcast.
Yes.
We intend to just have him to have discussions here and there. He knows a lot about the car industry, cars generally. Yeah. He also does a lot of farming. That's why he has cabbages.
Yes, farming ni muhimu bana. This is what it's and to sustain,
It's farming.
Either to sustain. But it's good to have you guys. You're doing a good job.
Asante.
So you have a very beautiful space. And you're doing what there was that missing gap.
The podcast.
Yes, of this kind of things that you do.
Yeah, just to have conversations on cars.
I'm glad that you guys are doing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you're the one who inspired. You're part of the reason why we're doing this. This actually happened.
That's good. I mean, if you don't do it, someone else will.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's good that it's you guys who stepped up to this.
Yeah. Papa and Al, we're happy to have you, Bana. Thank you so much. I think we can now go. Before we start the podcast, kuna news. Phone one. And this is relevant to Al. Jamwambia.
Yeah.
2 cars.
Yes.
Number 1, BMW M2 CS.
M2 CS, yes.
I think BMW has announced the M2 CS.
It's already revealed.
It's been revealed.
Yes.
And we've seen photos. And it has a very interesting thing on the boot. A ductile spoiler.
Yes. The best thing about the car.
It's hideous.
How is it the best? The best thing.
You see, the problem of growing up in a JDM culture, the only wing and spoiler allowed are the high
The high ones.
mounted, the fixed rear wing,
Yeah.
the fixed rear wings. So you grow up with that notion of the rear wing on a Subaru is the perfect wing. The rear wing on a Civic is the perfect wing.
Yeah.
Even the smaller one on a GTR is the perfect wing. On the R34, it's a fixed kidogo juu.
Yeah.
But then you saw that in the 60s, 70s, the ducktail and the decklip, spoiler was quite popular. It was actually more usable because the airflow is just so good.
It's smoothing out the earth.
Yeah, it's so smooth. It just goes, the
looks
cold.
like.
And I don't know why he's forgetting, but you're forgetting about the 992 Sport Classic. It has an even bigger ducktail spoiler and it's so smooth.
The Sport Classic,
Yeah, the Sport Classic. Then the M4 CSL came. It's the same size as the one that is on the M2. The only reason you are realizing that it's too big on the M2 CS is because the M2 is a shorter car. It's a compact 2-door sports car.
You know what that car reminds me of? Remember that cartoon called Cars? The one that is top have a red car that's racy or something.
You're talking about
What is it called? Cars.
Nini McQueen.
Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen. Yes,
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
No, but that's not weird, Bana. That's one of the best action cars that we have.
And this one I'm with Kalasinga by adult.
I can tell you, I think these are the kind of cars that when you see in person,
Yeah, you love them.
you will love them. I remember my first time seeing a ductile spoiler was on it was a 911 Classic. I think it was an RS. It was quite many years ago.
Yeah.
And it's the most beautiful thing I thought I've ever seen. And then I came to realize, oh wait, it's common. It's common even on BMWs. It's common on Porsches. It's common on many German cars.
Yeah.
Then now, in the years to come, late after 2010, after 2020s, it came back. Made a comeback in the 992 Sport Classic. Then the M4 CSL. You need to see the M4 CSL in person.
I've seen a lot of fantastic 10 spoilers.
And not seen that. See, could be you're talking about that. Actually,
I have to fit in, brother. Mimi nimeona dark taste be dungeona wapi kwa bata ya ukweli. Kwa dark.
But even Makexuku, they do it and it looks nice.
The small ones.
Right? Because they can't do the big one because it will look obnoxious. So
Yeah.
but they do it and it looks good. You see, this kind of, especially the cruiser cars and the short cars, they look good with a.
But then in terms of usability it only works if your car is really fast.
Yes.
Compared to what we have on the JDMs.
Yes, the fixed ones.
Yeah. Because on the JDMs, even
that's for
lower speeds.
For downforce, basically. That one was made for downforce. But I think on the M2 CS, the car is small. That's the first thing you notice. And you're like, why could they not have done a normal,
a proper spoiler?
A full. So yeah. Me, if there's one thing I hate on German cars,
yes,
it's a fixed rear wing. Or even an active rear wing.
Except the GT3 in Porsche.
Yes. Now, when you come to, Porsche is the JDM of German cars.
Yeah.
It's allowed to do that.
Yeah.
It's allowed to do anything.
Yeah.
Porsche is the only car that will jump from a JDM and you go into a Porsche and you're like, yes, it's more dramatic than a JDM car.
Yeah.
Then you go to an AMG, for example, and you just know you're going fast, just not feeling it.
Yeah.
So that one we let them slide. So we let them slide.
When it comes to noise reduction on Porsches, they're like, for what?
Yes.
Keep it there.
Yes. Just keep
anyway. Need money for Porsche. Money for Porsche. So guys, if you can send money through the comments, please. And when I talk paste, please paste.
Yes. Porsche, I think a GT3 is everyone's favorite car.
It seems that way because I'm a huge fan of the GT3. Almost every enthusiast has a GT3 in their dream.
Yes, it's either a GT3 or GT3 RS. Yeah. I mean, I know most people would want the turbo.
Yeah.
And it's a fast car.
Yeah.
But I think especially if you grew up in a JDM culture like us, a GT3 is always the ultimate addition to the garage.
The garage, yeah.
I mean, we'll spend nights.
Well, I guess that's what it's. Yeah, you're saying it's a JDM.
Yeah, it's actually the German JDMs of German cars. They are as dramatic. They are unforgiving.
They handle well.
They They just do things that you don't expect. A very German car to do. Yeah. But
they're a bit reliable.
Very quite. They are quite reliable. They are quite reliable. Outside, they're not bad. And on track, that's when now you get to realize that. For example, I was telling a client because there's a new GT3. It's a track only car. It's called a GT3 Transport.
Okay.
And it's basically a trunk only car. It's not a GT3 RS anymore.
Yes.
They took basically a cup car or the former GT3 R now, the track only car, and they made it unrestricted. Now racing cars are restricted.
Yeah, due to the homologation.
Yes, and all that kind of thing. So now this one is unrestricted. So it means you as a private person, as a hobbyist, you can take it to the track, do whatever you want to do. Now with the race cars, they are quite expensive because the prices are ranging at between 1.3 to 1.5 million euros.
Yeah.
But euros. Yes. Then we are struggling to sell them.
Yeah.
And I sat down with one client and he said, I have a GT3 RS. I haven't even been able to push this car to the max.
Yeah.
If I get a GT3 Transport, it's not because I want to take it to the track. It's because I want to pack it and just sit as a collector. And how many people have that money to just buy a car and pack it as a collector?
Pack your 1.3.
Yes, magic. Not many people have that. Most are billionaires only do that. Yeah. The average GT3 RS owner or even the average GT3 owner, they actually want to take those cars out on a track or even on just driving them and use them on day-to-day basis.
Yeah, take them on a back road.
Yes, just finger them. But now Porsche is here giving you an even more hardcore car than what you have on the
So you've not even been able to do not even a third of what you could do with the GT3 RS with the RS. Yeah. And here they are with the Rensport.
Yes.
Which is even more hardcore.
It's even more hardcore, and they're telling.
But I think now this segues into like the whole selling of cars thing, which I think, in fact, before that, the second car, I talked about two cars for the news. The first one was BMW M2.
Yeah, but you didn't even discuss about that car.
BMW M2.
You only talked about that. You're forgetting that the car weighs only about slightly over 1,500 kilos with 530 horsepower. That car is literally
that's
M4 power, backlighter.
That's the same weight. You said 1,500?
Slightly over 1,500.
So that's like an Axio.
Yes.
Yeah.
With 530 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's rear-wheel drive only. And even someone asked, why can't they build an X-Drive?
Yeah. Actually, that's what has come to mind. The rear wheel with that kind of thing.
Yes. And I'm telling you, if they do build an X-Drive M2,
X-Drive,
no one is going to buy the X-Drive M4. Absolutely no one. It's a more compact car. It will be more quicker. And
so basically you're saying the M2 is more desirable than an M4?
Definitely. They're even more expensive aftermarket. Look at the used prices for M2 competition versus M4 competition from the G87 versus F87 versus F82.
Yeah.
The previous generation.
Yes.
You will notice that the prices on the M2 competition are higher than the M4 competition. Because as a tracker, it's a better car. It's a more compact car.
Because of how compact it is.
And let's be honest, it's a better looking car. I'm an M4 enthusiast.
Actually,
I love my M4s.
M4s and M2s, I think I would go for an M2.
M2 is just a brilliant car to look at.
I think I agree with all of you. The M2 are a better car.
It just signed, sealed, delivered, done. So I think that is where now you're forgetting. You only saw the ducktail and you're forgetting that this car, they built an absolute weapon.
And for the listener, X-Drive is actually the AWD version. Yes. Just to clarify.
Yeah. For BMW.
On the ducktail is the little.
Yes.
For you,
You'll just
this for the listeners. It's a little spoiler at the back.
Oh yeah, for people who are listening.
On the Spotify.
Yes.
So the Spotify gun. But then I think the reason why you're talking about the ducktail a lot, I think it's the most conspicuous thing about that
thing you see.
Yeah, it's first thing you see when you see that M2 CS, the ducktail spoiler.
Yes.
And to most people it's ridiculous, but anyway, it's okay. You also like the new X3, which is another ridiculous car.
Oh, I love that car. I love boxy cars. I see this should be boxy.
Have you seen it? No, they know, but I imagine the entire bonnet is now a grille. So it's a huge grille. So it looks like a BMW iX and a BMW XM had coitus inside the baby.
Yes. We understand you watch a lot of Big Bang Theory. Coitus is the most favorite word for that show. But honestly, I feel like SUVs should be boxy cars. It's the reason why I would choose an RSQ8 over an Urus.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I would go for a G63.
Yeah, but our Urus looks variable anyways.
I mean, SUVs just need to be, have, even ladies who want to drive SUVs, I'm telling you, walk outside here, ask random ladies, give them between a boxy SUV and a neggy looking one. I'm telling you, they will always go for the boxy SUVs. They look more masculine.
Yeah.
And anyone who is buying an SUV, it's because they want a maskable looking car, The rest of the stuff, it's just, you see people who buy like the GLE coupes, they're not buying them because they're SUVs. They're buying them because they look like bigger sedans, which have more space.
Yeah.
But if you tell them...
Actually, we had that conversation with Kala. Where were we going? Oh, for Monday.
Yeah.
There was a GLE that was ahead of us. And he was saying he wouldn't get a coupe. He doesn't like it.
Yes.
I'd buy the normal SUV.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong with the coupes. They actually, when it comes to performance, they'll be quicker than the normal ones. Yeah. But the fact remains that if you go and ask a person, why are you buying this GLE coupe? It's not because they're shopping for an SUV, for functional SUV. They're shopping for a bigger sedan than what it is. You see, this is just a bigger E-Class that rides higher and it looks more,
more bulky.
Yeah, it has those looks. Yeah. So someone is attracted to the looks of it in relation to a sedan, not in relation to an SUV.
Okay.
So if you go and I'm telling you, walk outside the streets right now, ask like 10 ladies, which SUV do you want? Show them pictures. Don't even tell them. Don't name the name. The moment you give names, they pote about. They call GLEs this and this.
Yeah.
Just show them pictures. Which SUV would you take? Show them a G63 and an Urus. I am not like G63. They will take the G63.
Yeah.
They will look at this and they don't
For instance,
understand.
no wonder those
It looks like a small car.
typical soccer man vehicles. Actually, you look at most soccer man vehicles, they have the boxing larger.
Yes. And they are more functional. They are more, masculine. It's the same way. If you go and ask ladies, what kind of man do you want? They'll always go for boxing man, for masculine man. They want a man with masculine features. That's unless you don't have those features, then I'll have to ask Naomi if that's true. Because it's just the nature of things.
Yeah.
The nature of things. The X3, I know many people don't like that shit. Because it's a big move from the previous
X3, the
X3 Yes, the G01. It's a big move. But then people forget that we have complained so much about big grills. This one now comes, it doesn't have too much of a big grill. The lights are good. I don't even like the front. The rear is where it sells me. The only thing I don't like about that car is the build quality inside. It's built like a cardboard.
Yeah.
Every panel is just moving
around, yeah.
But that's BMW for you. Nobody buys BMW because they are built well. We buy them because they drive well. They like this car. It's just that the moment you start understanding cars, you'll stop complaining.
Yeah.
Nobody buys a Land Rover because they are reliable.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a Range Rover because when I drive it, I look good in it.
I feel like a king.
Yes, I feel really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I wanted to buy reliability, I'll go for a Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
But then that doesn't mean I'll not buy my Land Rover. Yeah. If my priorities are looking good, reliability, then you know where.
Range Rover, you need to get reliable.
And if I'm buying that, you think I'll complain about notice that people who complain about Range Rovers, it's very few people. It's not even the owners. It's someone who has bought a used Range Rover and realized that, my Toyota was very reliable. If you go to people who have owned Range Rovers from, all the way up, from the 90s all the way up, I know what I'm into.
Yeah, they swear by them.
You don't go and start complaining, oh, my wife makes a lot of noise or this and you've lived with her for 30 years. You know what you got into.
You're not the crate.
Yeah, she comes with that.
Yeah.
So if you understand the cars, you'll stop complaining.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Miskia, so your wife and your car are the same thing.
Yeah.
Your wife gospel according to Al.
You just need to understand your car.
Al chapter 3, verse 11.
You just need, honestly, it's yours as simple as that.
She's fine. Live with her. You want the section that in Gearhaus where you're giving marriage advice.
We have to.
You're evolving.
Tell us, what's the second car?
The second car was the Porsche 911 GT2 RS.
Yes, the prototype that's testing now at the
Nürburgring. I don't know if you've seen it vanilla.
No, yes.
They're trying to make it look like a GT3 RS.
So actually, that car started testing from last year, and it had the GT3 RS body, the actual 992 RS body.
Yeah.
Now they have, for the first time, given it a more absurd body, which hints at what the actual car is going to look like.
So basically, they're testing the suspension, the engine.
They're everything. They're testing everything, yes.
Without the body.
Yeah, but now they've given us a body that hints that this is not a GT3 RS, it's something else. And for people who are into Porsches, they know after the GT3 RS, we have the GT2 RS coming. So this car will launch in, hopefully this year, then sales will begin next year.
Yeah.
And we're already selling slots as we speak.
Oh, you're already selling slots?
So an allocation is going to cost you, the allocation,
yeah,
about 200,000 euros.
Just to be allocated.
Just to be allocated. So the price of the car will probably be about, the price will be about maybe, let's say, 280,000 euros. So with the allocation, you're looking at 480, 500,000, 550 with the options, which is what the previous ones went for. And this is because this is an allocation, so it's cheaper. Once the first cars start arriving, the premium will be in 300K.
Yeah, because then it means
the markups will be even if they are available, it's just that who is selling? The restrictions are there. Only a few people are willing to go against the rules of the game.
Yes.
So
and I think the GT2 RS is normally the fastest one around the Nürburgring. Yes, normally.
Yes.
So there's a chance it may break the record again. I know the current record is the AMG one.
Record is AMG 1.
Yeah.
Then I remember the GT3 RS MR, the multi
racing. Yeah.
So they did a very fast time. Then there's a car that did quite a fast time recently.
The Mustang GTD.
No, that was fast for the Americans. Fast for the Americans. That car was slower than well, it was quicker than some Porsches.
Yeah.
Just not as fast as the other cars. It was fast for the Mustangs. Yeah. And we don't know if the ZR1 will do a good time. You know, there's a new Corvette ZR as well, and people are not talking about it enough. I would probably go for it before I go for the GT2 RS because I know the prices will be better than the Mustang GTD, because the Mustang GTD is quite overpriced. Overpriced. And then for the time it's putting on the Nürburgring, it's telling us, save your money, get a GT3 RS.
And they've tried to do the lap twice. They're testing
They did twice, yes. They did 2 laps. Improved by maybe 0.6 of a second or 6 seconds. I'm not sure. You have to check.
Yeah.
So it's something which needs to be talked about, that American cars are actually putting out good cars. The Mustang GTD, I would say it's a good car, just the price does not add up to this.
At least we can see that it can go around corners.
It can go around corners.
Yeah.
Now we are waiting for the ZR1. The ZR1 is it's the like if they have now the C8, the Z06, the ZR1, then there's Zora. Zora is the one that will have, I think, a hybrid and like 1,000 horsepower, SF90 kind of power. But now the ZR1 is the sweet spot. It's just an amazing kind. For the prices you're getting, you're paying less. You're paying GT3, not GT3 RS price. You're paying GT3 money for a very powerful mid-engine sports car. That sounds really nice.
So between that and the GT3 RS, what are you getting?
GT3 RS, obviously. With that kind of money, but now I'm just saying that the options are so good.
Yeah.
And the only unfortunate thing is that right-hand drive markets don't get to enjoy this American.
You never get to see those cars,
But if you look at people who are living in Europe, South America, Southeast Asia, countries that have left-hand drive like Indonesia, they get to enjoy this kind of cars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And now you're taking us to what you actually do. You know, people just see on your Instagram, you delivered there's a Ferrari 488 the other day.
Yes. No, that was a GTB.
GTB.
Yes.
In the day before that, I saw a GT3 going to Kuwait or something.
Yes.
Kitu ya kwanza, how did you end up there? I think even her question is, hizo gari ziko huku ama ni wapi huko una deliver?
No, the cars are not here. Yeah. The cars are from all over.
Yeah.
So this is it's a global marketplace. The way we trade cars is the same way people trade exotic watches. So people who are trading Rolex, AP, those kind of watches, it's something that it's a global market because it's such a small market, but very competitive. So if we are trading, let's say a car like a 9, for example, right now I'm working on a 997 GT3 RS. That's a 2011, 2012 car. They only made 600 of them. It's the last GT3 RS with a manual gearbox. The last.
Yeah.
If you want a manual gearbox on anything with a GT3, it would have to be a GT3 and a GT3 Touring.
Not a GT3. It has to move backwards.
They did make, yes, you have to move backwards. They did introduce an ST. You know the ST?
Yeah.
The 911 ST. It's basically a GT3 RS with a manual transmission, but for the price.
Yeah, they're ridiculously priced.
Yes, they are. It's a limited edition.
Yeah.
Now this was the last GT3 RS badged car with a manual gearbox. Now you see, there are only 600 of them. So if you get one, it means you only need about, there are at least always 600 people.
There's only 600 people moving that
car.
And some have crashed, so they're less.
Yes. So you have to imagine that of those 600 people, very few people are willing to sell their cars.
Yeah.
So you have maybe at a given time, for example, right now in the entire market, we have at least maybe 10 to 15 cars which have been sold worldwide. There, you start now going down. Now you found the 15 cars. Out of those 15 cars, 10 are overpriced because someone is like, I will only sell at the right price.
Yeah.
If you can pick a bay, I'll sell it.
Yeah.
Then, now you remove the 10, you have 5. Out of those 5, then you start now seeing which one suits the same. Yes. You're now in the 1%. Now they only came in 2 colors.
Yeah.
There's the Carrara white and the black. And now you probably want a black. Those are even more rare. So you start narrowing down to a point. You have a car that at least at one given time in the world, 50 people are looking for it.
Yeah.
And this is the beauty of, we'll come to that top, the beauty of left-hand drive market.
Yeah.
The reason why, as a right-hand drive market, we are absolutely, for lack of a better word,
disadvantaged.
we are honestly, we are absolutely cooked this manner.
Yeah.
Because now, like, the left-hand drive market is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, honestly. The reason
Because of the variety of cars.
Yes, the variety of cars.
Yeah.
And if you look at left-hand drive markets,
Yeah.
they are progressive.
Yeah.
Most of them, at least 70%, are progressive markets.
You know the funniest thing? McLaren is a British brand,
Yes.
but they only made left-hand drive P1s.
Yes. That tells you something.
Yeah.
But I'll come to that end as to why we are cooked. The left-hand drive market, they don't put cars as, you see, if you come to third world countries, cars are luxury. And they want to make it as hard as possible for you to achieve the car that you want. So they want to tax all the cars that you want. And the ones that you don't want, they're like, you can have those.
You can have those.
So we are in a market where, and this is, I think it's a third world thing. It's not even an African thing, because if you look at all third world countries, and there's a lot of things, it's this thing, overtaxed, high taxes on cars, watches, and that such things. If you go to developed nations, they are taught to spend.
So they want you to buy those things.
Yes. If you grew up in an African setting, you know that you could not waste money as a young kid. Even when your parents have money, you can't just say, I want two of them. They're like, I already bought you one last time.
Yeah.
So you can imagine those are the same people who grow up into politicians.
Yeah.
Those are the same policy makers. So the policies they make will be, that's a waste. You don't need it.
Yeah.
You don't need that. You do not need a 911. You already have a Pro Box. Why do you need a 911 to move you from place to place?
Yeah.
So, okay, you want it. Tandika tax.
Wanaweka CRSP ingine crazy.
Yes, to make sure that, okay, for those people who want this, then...
It's basically like you have to play their game to fit in.
Yes. And you see that mentality, it's the opposite of what you're finding in first world countries, because they're like, we actually want people
to spend money.
To the point that the government does not... You see, when we are selling these exotic cars, they look at the invoice only. And the invoice that we... They don't even care what kind of car you're buying.
Yeah.
That thing, I'm applying it online. I send it. I clear the car from here. I'm the one who's doing all the clearing. Whether it's Kuwait, whether it's UK, whether it's whatever. I'll log in, do everything, get the registration, clear the car, and all the owner has to do is collect his car with his documents.
Yeah.
All government websites, and have uploaded the invoice and everything. It's done automatically.
It's a seamless process.
Seamless.
So you don't need clearing agent.
No, you do not. Why do you need mother? I mean, even if you need a clearing, you do need in some places, but if you can't do it, it's the same.
It's basically for them to hold.
Yeah. There are people who don't go through that hassle. In that case, now I'm the clearing agent, and I'm not even based there. So all I have to do is to liaise with someone who's there, who's liaise with the website, do everything, send the documents, and they will respect the value that is on the invoice.
Yep.
So they actually want more cars to come in. Because not only will the local used car market improve,
thrive,
and thrive, but the government is making already a lot of money by encouraging people
more cars.
And I'll tell you why. For example, let's say you've bought your AMG, you've bought an M-Car, I will be, and we are the same group. We are the same. So, I bought the M-Car, bought the M-Car, bought the AMG, and he's bought the AMG. So now I'll be forced to also come up. Let's say we are age mates, and we are also in terms of salaries, we are in the same group. So I'll be forced to also sell my 300 series or even just get another car, because all my friends have sports cars. Even if I'm not a car person, mind you, I'm not a car person. But I'm looking at these two guys, and they are telling me, come. I come in your car once, I go in his car for a drive once, and I realize, I miss these toys are fun.
I want one.
I want one also. And I go home, talk to my wife, and the 300 series, take it. I think I'll get a car for the weekend. And now I decide, I've driven your car and I've driven his car. Let me go to, in my travels out there, let me sample some more cars. I end up buying something like a McLaren or even an Aston Martin. And I come back with it. And we feel like we are so diverse. We are motivating each other to spend. And I do know who is winning in this conversation. The government.
And ideally, even beyond that,
Yeah.
because you see, even buying the car is a one-time purchase.
Yes.
I just can't pay a tax to get that.
Yes.
But there's an entire market that opens up, especially around maintenance and
Yes.
and stuff.
Those people are tax-paying businesses.
Yeah. And all those businesses that will be created out of those new vehicles.
That's exactly it. They will not. They're all a business revenue stream. They will be a business for everything. Let me tell you, people will go. Right now, we have people who are going outside the country to learn how to do PPF, detail cars, paint. They've started because they've realized there's a market for that high-end cars.
Yeah.
People who don't want to joke around their cars, paint work and PPF and all that. So you realize that, why don't I take the course myself or even send 2 guys, learn about that, then come back and do certified PPF installation, certified paint correction, certified, wrap installation. And when you do that, you realize that you are attracting clients of a certain caliber. Do you see how the market will grow now if actually those avenues are
And ideally, it just keeps, it's one of those things which are like, what do I call it? It basically just keeps spiraling. So you create these new things, there's something else that happens.
Something else that happens.
Yeah.
You see, people are not stupid. People are sharp. People don't sleep and not wake up with new ideas. The only reason those ideas are not put into place is because I will wake up and see an AMG. Then I'm like, I wish I could just bring those products for this car. Then you realize there are only 5 of them. And you're like, it's too expensive for me to bring that thing for such a thing for 5 clients.
Imagine if there were like 100.
Yes. There are people
Like at the point when I started detailing, I think there are very few shops in the market.
Yes.
Right now, I find everybody around is putting detail.
Yes.
Detailing.
And that's why you see that we don't have creativity in our local businesses. It's only copying. So if you open a detail, I open mine. If you open PPF, I also start doing PPF. If you do this, I can also start doing this. There's no creativity because I'm not identifying new ideas because we are all working around the same cars.
Yeah.
In fact, we are competing for clients.
Yeah.
Only 5 clients have Lamborghinis. So I will do service for him. Another guy will do PPF. Another guy will do maybe just exhaust and all that and downpipes. Then you realize those clients, before they spend again, it's 6-7 months.
Yeah. Because the guy is in there.
And you're wondering, now what do I do?
So you look at the other guy, he's been doing this, you start, let me do this now.
Yeah.
So.
And, like, I have a couple of buddies who will come from Uko. We are some bunnies. And there's a day we were just checking out the vehicles at a dealership somewhere in Westlands.
Yeah.
No naming names. And they were looking at the price tags.
Yes.
Asking me, what do you mean? And this is actually one of the vehicles they saw was actually a second-hand car, as we call them here.
Yes.
And it was like, at this price point, because the vehicle was going for about 14 mic.
Yes.
So he's saying, this is, if I translate, this is about $100 and something $1,000, and you're getting a used car. With $100 and something $1,000, I'll be getting, at that point, he had actually got one of the newer X5s. And he was saying, I spent about $80,000 on a brand new one. I brought on a flatbed right outside my door.
So everything, in fact, it's such a big problem. Whenever you watch this guy's videos,
The cost of the vehicle.
yes, he normally compares the cost of the vehicle in different markets.
Yes.
And in the comment, people always like,
and
how?
And for those people who don't know, I don't compare. I compare the same year used cars. I don't put prices for
New cars.
the cheapest older cars in their market. I put the same year,
Same everything.
same everything. So if I'm reviewing a 2019 X5, I'm gonna look for 2019 X5 in same spec. If it's an M performance, I'll also put M performance. That way you just get to see the prices and
it's ridiculous. Sometimes it's 3-4 times.
Yeah,
You're like,
times the price. Yeah, I mean,
it's totally. I don't even know what.
So there was with someone and he paid about 14 million for an X6 40D. M40D, and I mean, it's a fantastic car. It's a rapid car for everyday use. But you start to understand that for that money out there, you'd be driving an X6M competition.
You'd actually be driving an X6M competition.
Yes,
brand new,
and even newer.
Yeah, a new one.
Yes,
yeah.
Because that's a lot of money
for the prices we buy new G63s here. Someone would be driving an AMG, AMG GTR.
For the G63 prices here, you'd be driving a Phantom 8 facelift
in the UK.
Yes. Yeah, that's a 60.
I mean, even at the price of just like a VXL Prado.
Yeah,
Yes,
2020.
now VXL,
Not even a new one.
VXL,
2021.
no, let's say as a Dex 300 series, you'd be driving a G63 out there,
Out there.
fully loaded.
What's the
Facelift.
difference?
Yes.
So Kenya's pesa iko lakini mazi our tax
We
regime
are being forced not to use the money.
Yeah.
The economy is not open.
And no wonder the economy keeps contrasting. At this
Yep.
point, I feel like Gearhaus is
That's because you see, you now prevent people from spending. You prevent people from keeping money in the bank. So there's a lot of cash transactions.
it's money out there.
And the only way people spend this money is out there. I am not lying to you. When I'm here, I watch how I spend. When I'm out there, I don't even care.
don't even care.
Bro, I feel like no one is watching me. I feel like everything is set in a way that to protect me from overspending because everything is priced the right way.
Hey, guys, this one has been mortal. Al has stories for days, Ben.
Ala kona story mingi na si za jaba. Is a cabbage.
Yeah, ni mboga, story mboga.
Yes, those guys stories for days. We can't finish. I think we have to atiza kidogo, then continue, then have another like episode,
Yes. So you will see part 2 of this particular episode.
Yep.
Yes, so it's going to come.
Yeah.
This has been good.
Yeah.
And we are out. This has been Vanilla.
Kalasinga
And
Earl Karanja over there. Cheers.